What's up, guys? Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I like to build tons of decks, buy lots of cards, probably more than I should, and occasionally I also like to spec on cards that I think are going to go up in value in the future, or that I just want to make sure I have before they get too expensive to play in other decks. And yeah, I went away for the weekend. Actually, it was more than a few days, and when I came back, I had quite the mail pile up. So we're gonna go through all these together and see what I'm buying. All right, so we're gonna open these backwards so you guys can't see my address. Some of these go to the P.O. box, some go to the real address, but they all are gonna be cool. So I recently found some Midnight Hunt, what is the like combo set. I recently found a place that was selling packs of them, all the black and white ones, and I got a couple packs, and actually I'm building a Innistrad cube. I'm actually building 3 cubes right now, so some of these are going to be some really just random one-off stuff for those cubes, but this one actually is going to be for a reanimator deck I'm working on. It's a pretty standard Jeskai reanimator, and I had some normal faithful mendings, but I really actually liked how the black and white art turned out, so I wanted to get a playset to throw in there. I really don't know what's in any of these packs. I mean, I have a general idea, but there's so many of these, I don't know which has what. Okay, so card shield, always love to see it. Oh, Gerard's Verdict, yes. So I actually picked up a couple of different versions of these. I have a feeling these are going to get printed into Modern at some point, and I wanted to get some really nice versions of them. Obviously, it's not as bad as, say, Hymn to Torok. It's not that not suppressive, but not that oppressive. That's what it is. It's not that oppressive. I definitely could see these getting played in Modern. They also are good for pre-Modern. Not these ones specifically. I actually got some old border foils as well that might be in here. I'm not 100% sure. They might still be coming. But anyways, really cool card. Lots of different places to play it. Commander is also a great option for it. So I want to make sure I had a few of them. All right, Desecration Demon. So I picked up a few cards. Sometimes I'll actually pick up cards just to get free shipping. I think that's actually why I picked up these two. Consider is just a really good card. I have a couple playsets already that are in decks, but you know, it's gonna keep going up until it gets reprinted. So, and the Reality Chip, I think I had one that's currently in a mono blue Voltron deck that I have, but I have Hammer Time built out for Modern, and I need another one for the blue version of Hammer Time. So those two were pretty good pickups. They were pretty inexpensive. And then Desecration Demon, I'm trying to brew something jank with this. We're working on a new series. Maybe the first episode will be out by the time this video goes live, called Jank Constructed. If it's not, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see it. And the basic premise is building a $25 legacy legal deck, 60 card constructed with a 15 card sideboard, all for under $25, and I compete with friends and fellow content creators to see who can brew the better deck. And this is for a creature sacrifice matters deck. Not quite an Aristocrats. I'm trying to like give my opponents creatures and have them sack them. So that troll from Eldraine, and I think there was a I think it's called Slaughter Specialist or something that was in one of the newer Innistrad sets. No idea if it's going to work, but these were ridiculously cheap, and I picked up more than a playset, actually, because maybe it'll be good in something else. Good Aristocrat style card, for sure. Oh, I remember, I wanted one for my Persistent Petitioners deck as well, which is still a work in progress. I have a lot of decks that are works in progress right now. It's pretty bad. Okay, what is going on here? Mystical Tutor. So this is actually for something very special. It is for my Dandân deck. Now, if you're not familiar with what Dandân is, it is a very fringe format that I only recently discovered thanks to one of my buddies on Twitter, and he wrote an article about it. I'll actually link it down below. I cannot get this tape off. What Dandân is, it's a two-player format where you both play off of the same 80-card deck. The only creatures are Dandans, which might actually be in here. And there's just a bunch of fun interactions with that. It's very much playing on the stack, trying to predict what your opponent's going to do, and eventually swinging in for lethal with Dandân. You can also technically, I guess, win by milling your opponent out, which is very tricky to do because there's lots of cards that bounce to the top of the deck, and again, you're playing the same deck. I haven't played it yet, but from what I've seen, it's super cool, and honestly, the most expensive cards are 2 Mystical Tutors, and the rest is like $20 tops. So I bit the bullet, and I'm bringing this to my FNM for when games end early, or I get there a little early, or stay a little late to just hang out with friends and play. Trying to open this off camera because the address was right there. Light up the stage. I think this is one of those packs I was talking about where like there's 1 or 2 things that I really wanted, and then I just kind of filled the rest of the order to get that sweet free shipping. So light up the stage. You can never really have too many of those. Evidently I could have 3 of those. Plated slivers. I saw slivers were getting reprinted, so I wanted to grab some. But really, I just needed some more of these abrades. Abrade's always a really good card. I actually have a Jank Constructed deck where I needed these for, but also I think I have a couple of just Pioneer decks that need some, so I might actually have ordered even more than these. This is my favorite version of the Abrade art. The Crimson Vow one is also super cool. I love that artist. I think his name's Dominic Mayer. I wish it was a full art version, but this is probably my favorite full art version of the art because I think it's the only one. Next up is another cube pickup. That is Vindicate. I didn't actually have an old border Vindicate, believe it or not. I have a bunch of the newer ones. I think there's a promotional version too. Why am I having such a hard time with painter's tape? Should be like the easiest tape to get off. There we go. Yeah, so I needed an old border version of Vindicate for my Invasion Block cube. Yeah, I'm going old school. Invasion Block is about the time when I first started playing, really just kitchen table stuff, but I loved all the art in all these cards. I do remember seeing Vindicate when I was first playing as well. I think I might even had one before I sold off my cards in college. But anyways, classic art, shows the Weatherlight. Just really key moment, I think, in the story at that time too. But yeah, definitely going in the Invasion Block cube, which is going to be an experience to play when it's all done for sure. It's not going to be the most powerful set. It's going to be a little weird, a little wonky. I found a list that looked super cool. Maybe we'll even stream it, depending on how many people I get to draft it the first time. But yeah, very excited to have this. Looks like a land. Very exciting. Watery Grave. You can never have too many shock lands. And this is my favorite version of the art. So even though I have probably several playsets of Shocklands at this point, I always just keep buying the same art. I might get the full art Infinity for some of them, but that way it makes it easy to swap out, especially if you only need like 2 in a list versus 3 and whatnot. Speaking of lands, I also wanted to pick up some more Double Masters stuff. I've been picking up a lot of Double Masters full art because it is cheap. Getting everything from the Aether Vials to some of these bounce lands. Ooh, and speaking of cheap pickups, this is for a very niche modern deck that I'm working on. It's Mono Black Devotion with a boatload of discard. I know Inquisition is probably the better card usually, but the deck that I'm playing has 18 versions or 18 sources of discard in the deck. And when it came to 1-drops, of course I put Thoughtseize in there, but Blackmail seemed like a pretty good option as well, because eventually they're going to get to the point where they just have lands in hand, and this gets rid of lands. Malakir Rebirth is also for that deck to help bounce back Grief. It's got a little bit of that scam shell, the Rakdos scam shell, but it also runs Phyrexian Obliterator, and I want to make sure I can protect him as well, because it's pretty gnarly. And of course, like I said, just always picking up more full arts while they're cheap. Gonna have a lot of decks I need to piece together after this video, that's for sure. Like, you guys can't see it, but there is a stack of like 12 deck boxes to my right, all half finished, Some of them are proxied out, so I can still play test them with friends. More full art pickups. Seasoned Pyromancer is just a fantastic card, and the full art version is gorgeous. It is also ridiculously cheap right now. Oh, yep, look at that. Another Seasoned Pyromancer. I couldn't find these all grouped together from one seller, and sites like Card Kingdom were charging a bit too much. But yeah, I did order a full playset of them, so it's very likely they're all in here. Another pickup for the Invasion Cube, another one of the Pain Lands. Yeah, all the Pain Lands I had, for the most part, were already in decks, so I needed to pick some up for the cube. I don't know about you guys, I personally love going for old borders. Contaminated Ground, this is for the Mono Black deck. I was working on the Mono Black Devotion deck as a sideboard card. I was kind of teching it against 4-color. It would also half work against Tron. It doesn't get rid of the name of the land, so you could still turn on Tron, but you could put it on the tower and cut their mana pretty significantly. Yeah, and in 4-color, you can put it on whatever they have. The is it Abundant Growth, the one that cares about whether it's attached to a forest or not? Either way, you can really screw over their mana. And hopefully deal some damage as well, because it does deal 2 points every time it's tapped. I don't think that's all that's in here. It might be. Ooh, these are pringled. Look at that. We have to see what condition these were supposed to be in, because that's pretty bad. They're not even like Secret Lair pringled. They got their own thing going on. I bet I could stick it in a book or something. It'll be fine. And then again, just picking up more full art cards, getting some foil Rakdos Carnariums, and a full art Muldrifter. But yeah, those are pretty bad. All right, we are not even halfway through this stack of cards. Hopefully you guys are liking this. If you do, make sure to like and subscribe. I am going to start doing a lot more videos again. I was recently sick for a very extended period of time, but I'm doing better now. Hopefully for good. We'll see. Still taking treatments and everything, but I'm finally able at the point where I can record videos again. So I'm very excited for that, because I missed doing these, and hopefully you guys missed the videos as well. Faithless Looting, always a great card. I wanted a foil Merilage token because I am working on 8 Mulch Legacy deck. I do not have very many Legacy decks because they are very expensive, but 8 Mulch is definitely one of the cheaper ones to get, and because it's Legacy, of course, you got to have a little bit of bling for it. And then Nature's Claims, just solid cards. Usually Tron runs some of these, but I think I want these in one of my Jank constructed decks as well. Also, I want to point out, this is the From the Vault, so the foiling is funky on it. All of these From the Vault cards have this like weird striped foiling. I actually like it. I know a lot of people are not super fond of it, but I think it's a really cool effect. I like when Magic cards have a little more unique foiling to them, like the APAC series, like the Junior series. Those firework foils are super cool in my opinion. So I actually really don't mind those, and usually they're the cheapest version of the foil of any card too, which is kind of nice. Speaking of foils, on Burial Rites, I did mention I'm working on a Jeskai Reanimator deck, and of course you gotta have at least a 1 of in there, and I think I only picked up 1. No, I got 2. Okay, so just in case I decide the list needs 2. These were not that expensive, I don't think, for Innistrad foils, which was kind of surprising. Next up, oh, there's a few cards in here. We got Plague Stinger foil. We got 2 Plague Stinger foils. Probably more than that. We got 3 WPN promo Plague Stinger foils that are purely going in a Jank deck. These are not exactly the best Infect cards to run in a Modern or even Legacy Infect deck, but I really like the art, and they're pretty cheap. So for those Jank constructed decks that are supposed to be under $25, I think I can make an Infect deck work with these. Also, just to clear up, those the Jank Constructor decks, the rules just care about what the TCG Player minimum is. So oftentimes I'll build the deck live, and it'll be using the cheapest version of the card, but when it comes to actually buying the cards, I tend to get the most blinged out version where it makes sense. Obviously, getting like alpha or beta of a lot of the cards is not reasonable. But when it comes to like these promo foils, I think these are like under $1. And the normal version of the card is like a penny. Speaking of WPN promos, Scavenging Ooze, definitely my favorite version of the art. Partially just because it's an old border. I needed some more of these for some Pioneer decks, so very happy to pick those up. They're also ridiculously cheap. These are like under 50 cents. More promos, Mind Stones. I think I found a store that just had really good deals on promos. Random Invasion Foil Swamp. I really like the art in this. This is not my favorite art for swamps, but you never know when you need like a one-of foil swamp. And then I needed an emblem of Liliana of the Dark Realms because it's in a Pioneer deck I'm working on. And you gotta have the right tokens, right, and the right emblems. Gotta keep that board state clear. Next up, without showing the address, more Shocklands. I'm pretty sure this is for the Esper Reanimator deck. There might be more than just a Godless Shrine here, but Shocklands, again, are getting reprinted in the Unfinity set. But I tend to just buy the same art for all the Shocklands that I own, just to make swapping them out super easy. Okay, this is going to be a bunch of random stuff, including Diminishing Returns. I believe this is part of the Dandân deck. I'm like 90% sure. And then these are just random pickups. I needed a Spire of Industry for one of the cubes that I'm working on. Viridian Longbow, I think I just had the one which is in my combo elves deck, so I want to get another one. And then Dingus Staff. Dingus Staff is something that I think is really cool. If you're building an Aristocrats deck, this thing is pretty sweet. Ooh, I like these guys' packaging. Nice. Okay, this is some Eternal Witnesses. One of the other decks that I'm working on is Spike's Bant Coco deck, Collected Company deck. It looks super cool, and I had most of the pieces, but I needed some more Eternal Witnesses, and again, Double Masters just had so much cool full art, or borderless art, whatever you want to call this treatment, that it just made sense to pick up a full playset. Only 2 from these guys, but I have 2 more coming from a different place as well. And speaking of full art for that Bant Coco deck, Wall of Omens. Yeah, the foiling on this is super cool too. It's a little, like, this one's a little faded. I wonder if that's how they all are. Yeah, okay, it's a little dark, but still looks super cool. Yeah. I don't know why I got 5. Probably because they were super cheap. And you never know. Like, if you look at the Double Masters, the original Double Masters, box toppers, and I know that's a little bit different because it's box toppers versus in the packs. All those are crazy expensive. Yeah, the last land I needed for the Bant Coco deck. Speaking of really cool full art, all the tri-lands from New Capenna have already started going up. If you haven't picked them up now, do it now because they're not going to get any cheaper. I didn't have this one in any version, so I figured I might as well pick up the full art because, in my opinion, it's the best looking out of the 3. Okay, we're on to the TCG Player Direct cards. Ooh, and really, okay, so this is how they shipped some beta stuff. This is good for the mountain, but just a soft sleeve for these 2. I mean, I know they're not the most groundbreaking beta cards ever, but I still picked them up because I love the art. Every now and then, let me get some sleeves for these. I can't believe they didn't even bother to sleeve them. Like, alpha and beta cards need to be treated with a little more respect. Like, there are not that many of them. Like I said, this is good packaging for the mountains, or just the one mountain. That's right. I got 2 of these actually, but I try and pick up beta cards whenever I see them for a reasonable price. When nowadays reasonable prices are definitely different than what they used to be, but having some beta cards, especially beta lands, is always fun, especially when you get to sleeve them up for a deck. I actually was playing against a friend, was it last week, who was packing alpha forests in his deck, which is a little nuts, but man, that is such a flex. That was very cool to see. Ooh, Card Kingdom. I don't exclusively shop on TCG Player because sometimes they do not have the best prices. There we go. I was just talking about this, actually, earlier in the video. Gerard's Verdict. Really cool card, something that I definitely could see coming into Modern at some point. Even if it doesn't, it's still very much a playable card in the formats it's legal in. And I wanted a foil playset of the old borders. The F&M ones were actually really inexpensive, but as you guys know, any old border foils of actual old sets, including from Invasion Block, tend to get up there a bit. I don't remember exactly what I paid for these, but I still think it was pretty reasonable. Definitely a lot cheaper than TCG Player, which is why I went with Card Kingdom for these. Very cool. I love how these look, and this is definitely going in a deck. Okay, we are down to the last 4 packages. Exciting. They're all bubble mailers, which means they all gotta be really good stuff, right? At least that's why I sorted it this way. That is pretty good. All right, Helm of Obedience. Now, like I said, I don't have many legacy decks, but the ones I do have are pretty inexpensive, and Helm combo is a pretty inexpensive deck. The real only cost to it is the Helm of Obediences, which jumped up in price probably a year ago, I guess, is when people figured out the combo. So this combos with anything that exiles your opponent's graveyard. So Planner Void, Dauthi Voidwalker, Leyline of the Void. Those are kind of the big 3. And then Planner Void, I don't think has even seen that much play in the deck anymore, but it is a 1 mana card, which is really nice. Anyways, I needed an extra Helm. I think I only had 3, but the deck really needs 4. I was just kind of being slow on picking up the 4th one. The deck also runs some Urza Sagas. There's actually a couple different builds. The one I'm playing right now uses Karn as well, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really need a 4th one as much. I just had one in the sideboard, and I could realistically get it pretty consistently, but I'm really glad to have this one finally. This was definitely one of the bigger pickups for today, so I'm very happy to have this. Cool sleeve. Let's get this post-it note off before I reveal it. I did see what the bottom was, so I already know what it is, but for you guys, Solitude. I have 3 of the full arts and 1 of the normal art, and that was really bugging me. Especially since I need this for the Bant Coco deck, so I decided I should just finally bite the bullet and pick up the 4th, and maybe I'll sell or trade the normal version. But yeah, without a doubt, the borderless art is definitely the coolest. Yeah, no contest. Second to last pack. And like I said, it's a doozy. This is for the Helm combo deck as well. I recently switched to the Karn version. Before I was running a lot more discard spells, and Chrome Mox is obviously a very good card in any legacy deck, but specifically this one. So I think I picked up 2. Yeah, there we go. I had 1 already, and I think the deck only runs 3, thank God. So yeah, that's awesome to see. I think my legacy deck is now fully up to speed as well. Now I just need to find a legacy event. There are some around where I live, which is very nice. But I also should probably be a little more active on the webcam games too. Allosaurus Shepherd full art. I had been holding off on getting this in the hopes that it was going to go lower. Oh, they used masking tape as well. Got to get surgical with this. Masking tape is literally the worst. It can leave such a bad residue on cards, especially... Okay, they did pack it the right way at least, so it wasn't going to get on the card no matter what. But yeah, this art's just awesome. Let's see if we'll focus in a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, absolutely love that art. I don't think I'm going to get a playset of this, but I have 3 commander decks that are all elf themed in different ways. It's not just the same deck 3 times. That would be insane. And I have one that's like definitely my more premium deck, so I wanted the most premium version of Allosaurus Shepherd for it. And yeah, that's going to be the last card of the pile. I can't believe we... Ooh, that almost fell over. I can't believe we got through all that pretty quick. Thank you guys for watching. That was a ton of fun. Hopefully you guys liked it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. More videos are coming soon. Like I said, I'm finally better. We're finally going to be doing more stuff. Streams are coming back as well. They're not all going to be Magic themed streams. I'm going to do some more video games and some more art streams. But if you want to check out the Twitch channel, it's going to be down below. It's my main channel, Rock Art. So just in case you get confused, Heavy Plays is all my Magic themed content. Thank you guys again. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.